Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be doing a fall makeup look. So it is the middle of October, almost Halloween. It's definitely spooky season and really feels like fall here in Seattle. It suddenly became 50 something degrees and kind of cold and damp already. And I realized all of the content I've been posting lately has been trying new makeup and reviews and stuff like that, which I do enjoy doing. I wouldn't do them if I didn't. And some of it's been PR, which I've been very thankful to get. But I wanted to just sit down and play with some of my tried and true, some of my favorites, and do some makeup. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I'm a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a definite soft spot for sparkly indie eyeshadow and high-end and luxury makeup, and I tend to be pretty analytical in the content and reviews that I post. I try really hard just to make thorough, thoughtful, analytical videos, and I have new content every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. Okay, so like I said in the intro, I'm just gonna play with some of my favorites, some of my go-tos. I spent some time earlier trying to pick what eyeshadow I wanted to do, and I pulled out a bunch of like more fall themed palettes or earthy tone palettes, and I ended up deciding and like going with Midnight Sun from Pat McGrath. I haven't used this on camera in a while, and I haven't used it yet this fall, and it is one of my favorite palettes, bar none, not just seasonally, so I had to pull this out and use this. And then I've just got some other things that I think will really fit the vibe and season. You'll see Bean is sleeping on the couch behind me. She's been extra clingy the last couple days. So she might get up at some point, but I don't have any makeup on right now. I just have a little bit of brow gel in my brows to hold them in place. And that is it. I do have a little lip balm on. My lips have been really dry this week, and I woke up the last couple days with really dry, cracked lips, like really bad. I don't know what's going on. I even sleep with like lip masks and stuff on, but my lips don't like me. It's all red right here. I wore one of the Finding Ferdinand lip balms earlier that turns pink, and it turned very pink. Like, I've used other pH adjusting things. They all turn the same shade of pink, but this was like vibrant pink. I've never had one that vibrant or turn that vibrant on me. And I think it made the irritation, it might have made the irritation more red because it kind of stained my lips for most of the day. It recently just came off, but like all of my lips were bright red, but you might see I have some redness and it hurts. So I will be probably using a more hydrating, balmy kind of lip near the end of this when I get to that. I might do timestamps, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna be playing with makeup and kind of tutorial, kind of just get ready with me vibes. Not that I have anything to talk about, but you know, just in the mood for that. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm gonna start with my Lisa Eldridge Phoebe shade. I've been using this as a base almost every day. I do have the Nars Eyeshadow Primer as well, but I just really like this. It works really well, and I always have to use a base because I have really oily eyelids, and since I have to use one during the day anyway, even if it's like this where it's the end of the day, I'm already home from work and had dinner, and I have some wine, I still always use one just to make sure things work the same as normal. And I don't think I'm having too bad of a skin day. There's a little bit of redness right here, obviously. Didn't sleep very well this week, so my dark circles have been pretty bad, but they're not too bad today. So I think I'm going to start with the eyes just because I often do. If you haven't seen, this is Midnight Sun. This is the one they did that Star Wars palette again last year. It's my favorite Pat McGrath palette. I love it. It's my perfect neutral earthy. You've got some green, you've got some blue, purple tone. You've got like these perfect shades here. So I think I'm gonna just gonna do kind of these tones, like the oranges and the green, just make me think of fall. Not necessarily this shade, but the rest of it just really says fall to me. So I'm gonna grab a fluffy brush. So I just grabbed a fluffy brush. This is a Refer 15 Max. It's one of their fluffiest. And I'm gonna go into the shade Taboo. I do know that that's the shade name for this one. I don't know all of them. And it's just a really good base shade for me. I can also start with the shimmer in this, but I'm gonna put this down first and just kind of lightly add that warmth. I feel like in the fall you can go cool or warm pretty easily. In the winter I just feel like I gravitate towards cool, but because I've been doing a lot of cool tone looks, I just reviewed the new Makeup by Mario palette and the new Suku palette, pretty cool, and I've just been in kind of cool tone mode lately. I wanted to do something a little bit more warm. Really love this shade. Blends out really easily. There's a reason I like Pat McGrath's matte so much. It just adds a nice warm definition to the crease. Okay, so now that I have that base down, you can also blend the edges with that. I also like that. I think I'm gonna do the green. I'm just feeling it, and then I might put a little bit of the like gold shade on top, we'll see. This is just kind of to be like an everyday fall look. I can do like a really quick, simple, off to work in 20 minutes kind of look as well if you would like something like that. But for today, I'm just kind of plain. My husband is in California for work, so I'm alone. I actually have some time to film, which is nice. Although it is weird to have him gone. We haven't spent that many nights apart in all of the years we've been together. Okay, it took me a minute to find the brush I wanted, but this is the O2 Max from Refer. It's just a big, dense brush. That's really good for shimmers. So if I'm doing a really sparkly shimmer or something that's a little more loose that I'm worried about fallout, I will use this, and you can see the difference. This picks up things really well, but for something like a Pat McGrath shimmer, I will use something fluffy like this. And I'm gonna go into the green, which I believe is Wicked Envy. Just gonna pick that up, and I'm gonna put that maybe all over the lid, maybe just over the outer half. And this is why I like Pat McGrath's metallics, is they're not as sparkly as an indie shadow, although some of them are, but a lot of them are just really beautiful, and you can wear them as a one and done, which I really appreciate. Like I could have just blended the edges with this, maybe dusted Taboo over. It's a nice green smoky eye. And you can layer it up and it gets more intense. You can also use them wet. I really enjoy this formula. And using it with a brush like this kind of diffuses the edges already. See, I love that. I've worn this to work many times in the past, just not this fall. And I could stop there and be really happy. This is what I think of when I think of fall makeup, is like this, like oranges, like warm orangey tones, and like olivey greens. And then I think I might take a little bit of the bronze shade and just kind of put that on the inner part of the lid too. And then I'm just gonna buff the two together. I like that it adds that little bit of bronzy sheen without really taking away from the green. Yeah, that is exactly what I when I was like at work today thinking, because I didn't have time this morning before work to put makeup on. Plus I wanted to film tonight, so I didn't want to have to wash makeup off, but I was thinking, this is what I wanted. Nice earthy tones. Some just kind of craving that right now. I don't know if other people do that, but I often will I'm like, I need to use some cool tones, or I need to use some earthy tones. Like I have this like deep need to use specific tones in my makeup. Okay, so I did it on the other eye. I think I actually did a better job of incorporating the bronze. It like has a better, smoother transition. And then I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of Taboo and just dust over the edges of both to really make sure that the blend is as smooth as possible. Obviously, I don't really like the look of like a harsh cut crease. I mean, for sometimes it looks fine, but on a day-to-day, I would prefer the lid shade to just smoothly blend into something else like this. which is why I like metallics like this. And then if you want to add a little bit more sparkle, you can do this shade or this shade. So these are both her baked formula that hasn't really been around in a while. If you touch the like really gold one, really pretty, very gold. And then this shade, which is also in Divine Rose, you can see is one of my most used, is like a sheer topper. Put them here. See, that's pretty yellow, but not like as yellow as some. There's a little bit of brass to it. And then this is like a really beautiful champagne sparkle, but you can really sheer it out. I think I picked up a lot of both. I think maybe I'll use both, but I think I'm gonna do the gold, and I'm just gonna really lightly tap, because there's a little bit of gold in Wicked Envy, like gold sparkle. And I think just really lightly tapping this over will bring that out more. Yeah, I like that. And I'm not even picking up more, I'm just going straight in on the other hand, on the other eye. And it just adds a little bit more twinkle. So it's not the sparkliest. I mean, you could layer it on and it'd be very sparkly, but this is one of those where you just tap it on a little bit, and then when the light catches it, like there's a little bit more gold to the look, and then when the light hits it, you see twinkle. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the eyes right there. This is probably gonna be pretty much what the eyes are gonna look like, but we'll refine some things and add some more once I get complexion done. I'm gonna do my Surratt Dew Drop foundation. I love this. This one is almost dead, but I already have a backup that I ordered. So I will open that when this is officially dead. And then I'm just putting that on the back of my hand. You can see it it's fairly similar to the color of my hand, and the rest of me, minus the redness in the middle of my face. And I'm just using a fluffy brush. This is technically a blush brush, and this is like an eyeshadow brush in comparison, but I really like this for complexion products, for foundation specifically, or if I'm putting concealer everywhere as foundation. I just think it helps. Yeah, I have some really dense brushes, and if you want more coverage, a dense brush works really well to like really press that foundation in. But in general, I don't want that much coverage, which is also why I'm using a more light to medium coverage foundation as well. But I just think getting it into the bristles, and this is something I've been doing for a couple years, but it's kind of like Katie Jane Hughes says, where you like prime it into the brush and then it kind of blends itself. And I just really like the effect. I have many foundation brushes, and this cheap ColourPop one, I had other ColourPop brushes at one point that I bought myself to try and that I won in a giveaway once, but I didn't like the rest. And this is the one I've kept because I like it for this reason. I actually don't like this for blush. I think it's too dense and I don't really like the effect, but it's just the right density for my base. Okay, I really like that. And then some days I really need to put some down here, concealer, to cover acne spots or like razor burn, but it's not too bad today. So just kind of dusting my brush over. I do have this spot here, but it's actually not too bad. I feel like my ears are getting red as I get hot because the lights are warm in here. But Seattle in the fall and winter cannot just use natural light anymore. Okay, before I go into concealer, I'm gonna use some bronzer. I'm gonna use the Mario Sculpt, what is this? Soft Sculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serum. I have the shade medium. It's a nice golden undertone. I bought this when it came out and I love it, and I've already used almost half of it. It's just perfect for every day. So I'm gonna just pump a little bit of that on the back of my hand where I put the foundation, And then I'm just gonna use a different fluffy brush. This one's from Sigma, it's a little bit bigger. This is technically a powder blush brush as well. And I'm gonna pick that up on the brush, and then I'm just going to, picked up a little bit more right there. Normally it works better. See, right there, it's subtle, just adds a little bit of warmth. And it blends out really easily because it is kind of a sheer serum. Yeah, I got a little bit more right there than I need, but I will buff it out. And I just kind of bring it down. Some days I don't even need it on my forehead just because my forehead is already naturally darker than the rest. A little warmer just from the sun. But I just really love the look of this. I often will just wear this and a little concealer, or I'll do this first and then a little concealer to blend into it. I don't know why I did it the other way today, but that's fine. And then what's left, I will kind of dust down here. It's not a contour, it's not cool tone, but it does add a little bit of sculpt. And I do have a contour if I wanted. I would put it down here to kind of reinforce my jawline, but I'm okay with this right now. And you could reinforce it with another layer. It does build, but I really like how natural it looks. Like there were days when we were traveling in Europe this summer that I just wore like this and a little of my Lisa skin tint, and that was it. Couldn't really tell I was wearing anything, which is exactly what I wanted. And then before I do concealer, I'm gonna do blush and highlighter. So normally I do highlighter under blush because I feel like it gives a better lit from within look and it blends into the complexion better. But I'm gonna do something that I really love, which is make my own blush with my Lisa Eldridge Elevated Glow Highlighter. This is the shade Solar Light. And you can see I've used almost half of this as well. And then Velvet Dragon, one of her liquid lipsticks. So I've done this on camera before and I've talked about it. It's one of my go-to blushes, especially if I want it to last all day and look really natural. I need to pick up Velvet Affair because Affair is like a more brown tone lip that I want in general. I want Velvet Affair, and this is Velveteen. I want Velveteen Affair for this reason. You can use the Velvet lipsticks or a lipstick with this too, but because this is a liquid lipstick, it's really long lasting and it literally lasts all day. So I put about that much of the highlighter on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to just do a little dot because this is a liquid lipstick, so it's pretty pigmented. And then I'm gonna use a brush. This is the small contour from Sigma. I really like it for this purpose and then you blend them together. I'm just tapping and blending together, and you can see you've got a nice warm glow. A little orangey, a little red. And then stipple it on. And it just makes a really natural, for my skin tone. I'm sure you could do this with a different color or different highlight, but a red blush is always gonna be the most natural looking as far as like a natural flush to the skin. And this is just, because it's that orangey red, it works really well with my skin tone and gives me summer fall vibes. And you could do a bigger dot if you want a little bit more pigment. Sometimes I do, but I really wanted just like a natural warmth and glow. That is exactly what I wanted. I'll put a little bit here. I don't normally like blush on my nose. I've never had a sunburn, but it tends to look like one to me, which just looks weird because I've never had one. And then I'm gonna do concealer. You can just dot on your face. I sometimes do that. I also sometimes do it on the back of my hand. I'm gonna avoid all of this. I'm gonna put it over here. This is my Haus Labs one in shade 23. And then I'm just gonna pick up my concealer brush. This one's from Sonia G. I'm gonna pick up some of that. And I'm just gonna go in, oh, it starts to roll away. I'm gonna go in right here where I want a little bit more coverage for my dark circles and brightness. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but Bean is dreaming and chirping. can see her dreaming. I love when she does that. I did grab my Beauty Pie color corrector, but I forgot to put it on. So, oh well, but love the Haus Labs concealer. And I just really like that effect. Like you can see, just adding it at the end kind of brings everything together. Sometimes I will use the same brush for both concealer and foundation. I'm just not doing that today. And then I use the concealer to kind of brush up here and make sure that this is all lifted. Down the bridge of my nose to kind of sculpt. I don't generally contour my nose. I generally just kind of do that, and that kind of contours it for me. Adds a little bit of a natural brightness there. And I don't think I really need any concealer elsewhere. Maybe a little bit right here. And I could spot conceal too, with like a pinpoint. Okay, really like the complexion so far. I'm gonna set with powder. This is my Haus Labs powder. Just make sure, I don't really need to set this concealer, but I just wanna make sure it's all set and blurred together. One thing I really like, this is a Sigma brush. Again, the tapered cheek. This is my favorite powder brush that I have. Is I like going over with powder after I've done everything else, and it kind of helps blend everything together so there's no lines. Kind of buffing it. Kind of like using a finishing powder, but I'm not. I'm just using a really light amount of my setting powder. And as a like normal to oily person, I don't really want to say combo because I don't have dryness, but as normal to oily, it helps bring everything together. And then I think I want a little bit more blush since I went fairly light with the Velveteen shade. So, and I want a little more brown in it because fall. So I picked up my Fire Moon shade from Haus Labs, and I'm gonna use the brush that I did the bronzer with, pick up a little bit of that, and add that on top of everything to add that little bit of brown that I really like in my blushes. Warmth, but like neutral warmth, kind of like what I have on the eyes. Okay, so almost done. I'm just gonna take a little bit of Taboo and run it under my eye, my lower lash line. Wow, I can't talk anymore. I don't always do this, but especially with a brown, sometimes I'll just do this with bronzer. I feel like it helps shape the eye, cover dark circles a little bit. And it adds that little bit of contrast with the concealer to really work. So I just placed it down with a like more smudgy brush, and then I'm using the first one to make sure it's really diffused. And then I have a tiny little brush. This is a 2 Mini. And I really like a matte inner corner, but this one doesn't have it. So I'm gonna use the Skin Show shade here, which is also a highlighter you can put on your face. And I'm gonna put that on the inner corner a little bit. It's pretty bright. I don't really like a super bright inner corner. And then I'm gonna take that first brush again and kind of dust, blend the edges, make sure it's not too bright. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera real quick to do my mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and added my Eldridge mascara and curled my lashes. This is exactly the look that I wanted. This, I mean, it took a while because I was talking, but this is kind of an everyday fall look for me. I can do a faster version of this if you're ever interested. So for lips, I did get a couple lipsticks in PR. This is a newer brand. So when I see this, I want to say Maison de Cite or Cite, Maison de Cite. I'm not actually sure how to pronounce it. This is the outer package, and they sent me 2 of their new lipsticks. Very cute. These feel like, they feel and sound like ceramic. And then you've got a nice really thin lip. I might try this, but I feel like it might be, with how angry my lip is, I think this is a matte lip, so I don't think I'm gonna use this, but I will use this sometime soon. So I'm gonna use my go-to lip this time of year, Meet Me in Berlin from Lisa Eldridge. Used a lot of it. This was sold out for a while, but it is, I think, back in stock. So I'm gonna throw this a little on, because this is her Lucent formula, so it's very creamy, has a nice shine, and it's a really pretty brown. Okay, so I felt like it caught a little bit in my dry patches, even though I exfoliated earlier and put hydration on, but now that it's blended in, it's like my perfect everyday lip. I did buy her new ones that were just launched today. I bought the early access link, so I bought the new lips. I bought 3 of them. That video will be coming soon. Hopefully my lips are not dry and angry with me when those come. Okay, so this is the finished look. This is something I've done before many times, kind of an everyday work fall look, and that's really what I wanted to go for. I just wanted to play with some of my comfort tones. These are like my comfort products, comfort colors, all of that. Life's been kind of hectic lately, and this just makes me really happy. Okay, so let me know what you think of the look. Do you have any of these products? Do you reach for them? I'd love to, I'd love to talk to you all in the comments. Let me know what you think. And let me know if you want more of these. I've done a lot of Get Ready With Me's in the past, I just haven't been lately. So if you want more Get Ready With Me and more things like this, please let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, it helps so much, and I will see you all in my next video.